All right, so let's rotate into the Disc Golf Network. Also, this past week, updated their pricing, so I can find the announcement over here. So, a few notable things in the announcement. First and foremost, European Open and USDGC are advertised as part of the Disc Golf Network subscription this year. So you'll be able to watch
I wonder
USDGC
if you'll be able to watch
without
Hole
the bonus.
17 this year.
I don't know. So it basically just said like let me read the exact part of it. We're thrilled to bring the USDGC and European Open to the Disc Golf Network as part of the 30 plus event package included in the subscription. That's Jeff Spring talking. And then the USDGC and European Open will have pay-per-view options available for exclusive post-produced content, as well as coverage of the President's Cup. Post-production content will be released 30 days after the event ends on YouTube. And somewhere in here, they do confirm that it's included. Yeah, right here. Disc Golf Network will broadcast all rounds for Elite Series and PDGA majors, including USDGC and European Open live, included with the Disc Golf Network subscription. So last year, you did have to pay like additional to watch USDGC, right? Regardless if you were a subscriber or not. This year, they're all together. Another thing too is they introduced individual round and individual tournament packages. So it's $4.99 for an individual round, or $9.99 if you want to pay for an individual tournament. They upped the price per month to $11.99 per month, or $100 annually. And then there is still the discount for $5.99 per month for PDGA members. They also added some additional PDGA member benefits, which is free access to the Las Vegas Challenge, Champions Cup, USW DGC, last 2 rounds of World, and the MVP Open, regardless of if you have a Disc Golf Network subscription or not. So that kind of adds a little benefit to the PDGA.
Here. So the disc golf season runs February through
end of February. You might as well say March, because last week of February.
But you have to pay for the month of February if you're paying monthly.
You would.
So you go February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. You got to pay for 9 months. So 9 months, if you have I'm trying to figure out what's the cheapest way, because you said
$100 annually, unless you're a PDGA member.
No, because the PDGA, if you factor in the PDGA membership though,
PDGA membership is $50.
So
for an AM,
$50, and then
$6 a month.
9 times 6,
so that's
54.
54.
So it's a little more.
So 104. So
yeah.
the cheapest way is don't be a PDGA member.
Just don't join the PDGA.
Well, what I haven't seen is if
you're already in the PDGA, yes.
Does the discount apply to, like, can you get an annual discount for PDGA members? Like, can you get it be only $50?
Because I was curious to see. I looked up what the NFL Sunday ticket price was, because I was just curious to see what they charge. Because I mean, obviously, with that you're getting essentially like, what is it, like, because like 2 teams are on a bye. I don't forget how many buys they do, but you're getting like 15 games a week, I think, with that, and that costs $300 for the whole season.
Yeah,
and like 70 something a month if you do it that way. I was just curious to see the pricing comparison. But that, I mean, if you're like a lot of people that are going to watch live disc golf are PDGA members.
Yeah, but I was trying to think, like,
and
even
$6 a month,
if you're a PDGA member,
that's not bad at all.
I couldn't see if they gave PDGA member an average or like a discount on the annual pricing.
Yeah.
But if you're paying $50 for a PDGA member, and then even if they gave you a 50% discount on the annual pricing to $50, it's the same as just not being a PDGA member and paying annually.
100 annually is not bad.
It's not bad.
Because what does that break it down to? You said there's 30 events?
There's 30 events plus I think you said 30 plus events plus the majors. So I don't think the majors are included in those 30 plus events. So it's like less than $3 an event.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you think about it that way, you're a couple dollars to watch, pretty well produced live disc golf. Like that's fair pricing.
It must be including. They're part of the 30 plus events, so it must be including Silver Series in that.
Yeah,
because I'm trying to think of what all events.
That's fair pricing to me.
Yeah,
that's not bad at all.
Some people were complaining about it. Obviously,
how? Like that is.
Because people don't want to pay to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Though, a couple dollars, literally, it's like you going to your local course and making a little donation, or it's like an ace pot at a tournament. Like, just throw in a few bucks.
It's not bad at all.
It's gonna grow the sport.
And and also, Joe Mez, all of that's still gonna exist. So if you don't want to pay, there's still free options for almost every tournament out there. USDGC only through the Disc Golf Network, but other than that, it seems like every other tournament's going to be.
I'm going to try really
next
hard
day.
to like be on my live tweeting game this year to like make people jealous that aren't watching live disc golf, because it is so much more fun when everybody's on Twitter like tweeting about it and like in the Discord.
It's also like post produce is a great way to like catch like the recap of the round essentially.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love that post produce exists.
Absolutely, and post produce will always exist.
If I miss a round, like I'm gonna watch it post produced, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is gross. But I won't enjoy it as much because
that's what I was gonna say.
I don't like listening to commentary where the guys already know what happens.
Well, I personally just enjoy
and I already
just
know
being
what won.
in the moment of like a sick shot happens, and you, whether or not you're watching it with a friend or friends live, or you can virtually be connected to people who are experiencing the same thing at the same time.
Right.
To where like when James Conrad's shot goes in, boom, I can tweet about it. I can hop in our Discord, which if you're not in our Discord, by the way, there's a great time to join it. It's free.
Spot.
Link is in the description of pretty much if you're on audio or YouTube, but there's a live tournament chat in there that absolutely pops off every season. And like the YouTube live chat can be very toxic and annoying a lot of times, but our Discord
got mods.
Yeah, our Discord has mods and all of that, but on top of it, it's just people who are watching live disc golf to enjoy live disc golf and not to be critical and go back and forth. So personal, definitely biased opinion. I think our live tournament chat is the place to be when you're watching live disc golf.
Yes.
But regardless, there's just something about a moment happens, good or bad, and you're able to interact with people live in that moment. That's why I personally, whenever I can, I enjoy disc golf live.
Yeah. 100%.
But there's nothing wrong with the post-produced, and it's not going anywhere. If it ever does go anywhere, it'll just be post-produced under the Disc Golf Pro Tour's umbrella in the future. But $11.99 per month, yeah, that one, $11.99 per month, seems somewhat expensive. But when you look at $100 annually, that brings it down to less than $10 a month.
Right.
But then also, if you're a PDGA member, it's only $6 a month.
Yeah, and even what were you saying? It's like $9.99 for an individual event. So
so if you want, if you just have a favorite event,
if you just want to watch majors and a couple other, maybe you spend $50 on the year, it's not bad.
Or $4.99 for individual rounds, so you can wait and see. To be honest with you, there's not really a card I want to watch. Well, that's the other thing too. Is I'm very curious to see how Las Vegas Challenge goes this upcoming weekend. Quick side note: you might notice during this episode we're not talking about Las Vegas Challenge. Why? We're gonna have why? I'm glad you asked. We're gonna have sponsor. No, we're gonna have 2 episodes of Grip Locked on tournament weeks. We're gonna have this episode on Monday. It's gonna recap the week before and any tournaments that happened the weekend before, and then we're gonna have an episode the day before the tournament starts. That's just a full only preview episode. So that way they can be split separately. And we can go more in depth on both sides because people have been really enjoying the off-season feel. And I felt like Monday, now this will allow us to dive into the recap of the tournament before a little bit more and also have some of that off-season feel later in the episode. And then Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what day a tournament starts. So this week it'll be on Wednesday. We'll be able to go full dive in, stats, all of that on the tournament coming up that week. So we're going to test it this week, see how it goes. I'm assuming most people will like it, but we'll go back to, for Las Vegas Challenge, I'm very curious, though, for the Disc Golf Network to see if they're able to roll over their coverage that they were able to do for the All-Star event. Because for the All-Star event, we saw a ton of golf. I mean, 4 or 5 cards. And you were only seeing shots that mattered.
Right.
So when it came to, on FPO especially, there was a few cards that just, not got out of hand, but the score was basically set in stone, or at least in the middle of the round. So unless something crazy happened, you didn't see that card. Mm-hmm. So if a cool shot or something happened, you saw the card. But if a player's 15 strokes out of it and is on chase card, you're not going to see that player on live coverage. So that's something that I personally really like because also if someone storms from third card up, they are able to get a camera over there, capture that. So I'm hoping that alone, I think, drastically increases and separates the difference because right now, the issue in the past has been, why would you choose to watch a 4-hour round of disc golf if they're only following the lead card when you can watch the same exact disc golf the next day in 30 minutes?
Right.
What live should be is a whole different package, which is you're not watching just 4 guys or 4 girls. You're watching realistically the highlights of the entire field.
Sure.
So it's popping. You have Paul's drive on 1. Now, all right, as they're walking up, we're going to throw it over to Eagle and Calvin on hole 3 and stuff like that.
I mean, the day that they get to where it's like watching golf to where it's just shot after shot after shot.
That's very simple. That's how the All-Star event felt.
Yeah, that's what I'm always curious each year to see where you notice the Pro Tour upping their game. I remember one year being oh, their graphics packages are so much better this year. I think last year the thing I noticed the most was oh, they're really using stat packages really well. They have really good statistics to reference, and so I'm interested to see this year what it's going to be, if anything. Hopefully, that I'm like, oh wow, they've really stepped up their game with this year.
Well, they're also doing separate streams for MPO and FPO, and what that allows is there's going to be more cameras on the course for both.
That alone should do it, right?
Yeah.
Like that should be,
because before, you had 2 cards of MPO being covered and 2 cards of FPO being covered, whereas this year we should be able to have enough cameras to fully cover 4 cards of MPO and 4 cards of FPO. But when you split it even farther, you might be able to get like a camera out to 5th or 6th card. So there should be, and they also on All-Star Weekend did a lot of like replays of like, this is what just happened. So like basically you weren't going to miss someone's tee shot because it was happening the same time as someone else's tee shot. They would just be able to be like, all right, moments ago on hole 3, this was so-and-so teeing off, and now we're going live to his putt for birdie.
Yeah.
And it was very confusing to follow on the All-Star Weekend because they didn't have, the scoring wasn't just straight 1st to 10th scoring, and that was the graphic we were being showed. It was a head-to-head. But if the scoring, like in a normal tournament, is just 1st to 10th, it's not hard to follow because it's very easy to A, have it up on your phone, or B, they were showing the scores and James Conrad is in the mix, and now we're cutting to James Conrad's shot. What happened here?
Right.
So I'm very excited to see how that goes, and I'm also excited that the PDGA members have free access to Las Vegas Challenge. So if you're someone who's on the fence, you're like, would I like live disc golf? Or maybe I hated live disc golf in the past, but so I don't want to pay for it. You're able to give it a shot this week. And then also Champions Cup, you're able to give it a shot again, USW, DGC, all of that. So you'll have a few different options throughout the year to like test the waters before you commit to paying $100 annually or $6 a month or whatever it may be. But overall, I think it's moving in the right direction. I understand some of the pushback. Whenever you increase price, it's going to be pushback. But if we're able to increase the product, get it out there in a better way and more concise for us to be able to bring it in, then what's the harm? If we get a better product, I'll pay a better price.
Absolutely.